Hello folks, Phil Gallagher of ThrabenU here for another Legacy video. Today we are playing with John P's Mono Red Sneak Attack deck list. So this is a deck that kind of saw some fringe play on the SCG Tour back in a day. There were a couple of weekends where a bunch of the Roanoke grinders kind of like ran train with this deck list and did disgusting things with it. The deck list has gotten some significant upgrades since that time though. Starting with the general idea. The idea is that you are using mana acceleration like Ancient Tomb and City of Traders to fuel out Sneak Attack, Through the Breach, or Ilharg the Raise Boar. All three of these allow you to cheat fatties into play for either free or a reduced mana cost. And the fatties that you're cheating in are pretty gross. Emrakul? I mean, Annihilate 6, that just beats most opponents. It's also got 15 damage stapled to it, and it's hard to deal with. Worldspine Worm hits for 15 on the way down, and creates 3/5/5 green worm creature tokens on the way out. Grizzlebrand? We know what Grizzlebrand does. It's gross. And this version also has Karn the Great Creator. Now, Karn the Great Creator can just win the game on its own via Mycosynth. Nope. Okay, no Mycosynth. Strike that. It can win the game on its own via Ancient Stone Idol. This is a 12/12 artifact creature that you can grab with Karn so that you have a sneak attack or through the breach target. And sort of like Worldspine Worm, when it dies, you get a 6/12 colorless artifact construct token with Trample to boot. Chef's kiss. You also do have Quicksilver Amulet. Now, this is not super a legacy playable card, but in a deck like this that doesn't get access to something like cantrips to sculpt its hand, this is your sort of like poor man's sneak attack. It's a little slower, but as a wishable target, that's pretty hot. You do just have the traditional liquid metal coating route to go and blow up opponents' lands, so your Karn can still do work that way. Ruin Grinder is also an artifact, and this has seen some play in like the Goblin Welder Painter style decks. You can sneak this in, hit for 7 with Menace, and then like it dies at end of turn to sneak attack, and then you can just like get a draw 7 out of that. Yeah, your opponent draws 7, but hopefully if you regas, you just kill your opponent the next turn. As the supporting cast to this shell, we have the traditional stompy elements of Chalice of the Void and Trinisphere, as well as Blood Sun to lock our opponents out. Note that this deck is choosing to play Blood Sun over Blood Moon because the ability to go and just like play City of Traders and then keep it around is really valuable for a deck that is looking to get up to 5 mana, whereas traditional Red Prison often caps at either 3 or 4, not counting Fury, which is oftentimes a pitch spell rather than something that you hard cast. I think that's more or less all that I have to say about this deck list. This deck list is essentially going to be like, we're going to jam it and we're going to see if it works. As far as sideboarding goes, we have almost zero ability to actually sideboard except versus graveyard hate decks. Like, we have 2 Dead Gones as like the most generic possible answers to creatures that we could have. But otherwise, like, we have one plan. We are the Barbarian. We're going in swinging, and we're going to see if our opponent dies to it. Hopefully, it's pretty hilarious along the way. If you're new here, please consider throwing me a subscription. And if you're a regular, hit me up with a like or a comment or something. Those sorts of things support my content for free. If you want to support my content with dollar bills and you want to get one of your own decks on the channel or play this deck list, that information is always available in the video description. Let's battle. Okay, I have a turn 1 Chalice of the Void here, but I'm going to have turn 1 Chalice with a lot of hands. I have no ability to cheat a creature. I think I just need to mulligan. This is an awkward hand. So this has a turn 2 Blood Sun, and it has a way to sneak a creature, but it has no big creature. Is this fine on a mulligan, or do I want to go deeper? I think since this gives me a redraw, this is kind of functionally like having 7 cards. I'm going to go ahead and just keep this. Also, I think this deck has enough mountains that I probably should have taken the time to split with snow-covereds. And regular lands. But I just fired off the deck list as it was written this time around. Oh. Well. Okay. So, now, do I want to play Blood Sun? Using my Spirit Guide. Depends. I don't think I'm going to. Like, there's worlds where my opponent just plays like a City of Traders here, right? and like I end up helping them out, I think I'm just gonna keep this spirit guide to use it to cast this. Alright, that is exceptionally bad. That's early liquid metal coating here. I might have to straight up just cast the spirit guide to pressure Karn. Alright. Liquid. Oh, opponent is going for Ensnaring Bridge. I sure as hell am not gonna beat that in game 1. Uh, yeah. Um, yep. Yep. That's bad. I believe the way that I win is drawing a land, my opponent not playing Ensnaring Bridge, casting through the breach and hitting my opponent for 15. My opponent has to also tap their Ancient Tombs. I'm going to play this Blood Sun and just try to draw towards either a land or a spirit guide and work towards that world. Alright, what do we got? Another Through the Breach. That's not what I'm looking for. Okay. I think my opponent is going for the Rishadan. Oh no, they just have yet another soul land for Mycosynth Lattice. I mean, that's gonna happen, right? So I am just straight dead to that. I will go ahead and concede. GG's. My Chalices and Trinispheres suck. I'm not gonna have great options to board in. Let's see what I can do. I will board Chalices out. I will board a land. It's an awkward land because it's like junked by Karn. Like I can board some of this stuff in. I probably need to leave the Quicksilver Amulet and the Ancient Stone Idol in here. I can do something like this. I can also just board in Sorceress Spyglass over like a Trinisphere. And that gives me an ability to kind of shut off a Karn or something ahead of time. But by boarding this stuff in, because like my Chalices and Trinispheres are so bad, I have made my Wish board significantly worse. Okay, I have 5 mana on turn 1. I have no fatty. I don't think this hand is a keep. We're trying to assemble both pieces in hand if possible. I'm going to ship this one as well. Mono red sneak attack is kind of a like, can you assemble A plus B in the opening hand sort of deck? You can wait things out if you have to, but alright, this has access to Through the Breach plus Worldspine Worm. I have to throw back this. And I think I need this Blood Sun to keep my City of Traders around, which means that I probably am just throwing back the Spirit Guide. And maybe hope to go off on turn 3. Not really the pace that I want to be going at, but a potential turn 3 kill on a a turn 3 effective kill on a multi 5 is pretty okay. Okay, that does not hit anything that's in my deck. So that's fine. I'll put this pedal into play. I will play my Blood Sun. And let's see what we draw. Another Blood Sun is not what I'm looking for. I mean, it gets me a card deeper next turn if I have to. But all I need to do here is hit a land. And then I get 15 damage and 3 bodies. Okay, sure. Alright. You can start to get a little scarier if my opponent has that mana now. Because that means that like a Karn can come down, yeah, and shut off this Lotus Petal. This also just becomes awkward because my opponent grabs Ensnaring Bridge. Nope, not immediately. Oh, alright, Soul Land. Another Lotus Petal. Alright, yeah. I mean, we don't really have answers to stuff. I want to play this out in the hopes that my opponent spends their Karn activation blowing it up. My opponent is currently at 16. I need them to deal damage to themselves with Ancient Tomb once. I don't have like a Braids or anything, so like once my opponent puts something like an Ensnaring Bridge in play, I just lose to it. That's not good. Alright, what do you have? Prismari Command. Interesting. Alright, Bobble. Where are we going with like the Prismari Command? Not super sure about that. You're just grabbing Ensnaring Bridge? I think I'm just soft to Ensnaring Bridge. I'm also basically soft to liquid metal coating because my opponent ports down City of Traders this turn, and then I cannot assemble enough mana to actually through the breach successfully. So assuming my opponent taps liquid metal coating, I think I just immediately concede to it. Yeah. Yeah. So like, I'm gonna lose the City of Traders on my opponent's turn, and then I'm never going to be able to get to 5 mana. Alright, let's throw in the towel and try again next round. This is a strange opening hand. I have a turn 2 Karn, which can wish for both Quicksilver Amulet and the big Titan thing that's in my sideboard. But I don't know that that's better than mulliganing, because a single piece of discard or counter magic or whatnot just completely destroys my 7 mana hand. So I'm gonna ship, and then I'm gonna cry. Then I'm gonna mold a, what is this, 5 now? City, Petal, Seething Song is 5 mana on turn 1 for a Karn. This is a better YOLO Karn hand. I keep this. I throw back this, and if I keep Spirit Guide, I can play Liquid Metal Coating on turn 1. Alright. I call my YOLO here. Alright. Don't do it. Do I concede now? I don't think I concede now. I have enough mana that I could do some wild shit. Goodbye, Karn. Oh, turn 1 Blood Sun is pretty dope. Play Lotus Petal, play City. I'll cast my Blood Sun. And pay for a daze via a Spirit Guide. Deep analysis, so as expected, we have gotten paired against Doomsday. We have some okay tools for this matchup. Alright, Daze in the Graveyard. Finishing the thought, I have some okay tools in this matchup, but like not on this hand. I am probably okay keeping lock piece hands versus this deck. Chalice is potentially better than Trinisphere, though it's weird. Like a Trinisphere in play can be beaten via like cyclers pretty easily. I mean, yeah, absolutely. The top of the deck here has been pretty kind to me. But like I said, my opponent can just go Doomsday, like Edge of Autumn, couple Street Wraiths, and then just kill me. Or just kill me over a couple of turns of just waiting. So, this is probably a win for my opponent. Alright, my opponent has made their pile. Oh, okay, so they have Street Wraith. That means that... Okay, yeah. So I will just hold this land, because I can't afford to lose my City of Traders. There's a world where I'm dead this turn, depending on how many Street Wraiths are in my opponent's deck. Enough. So my opponent had 3 Street Wraiths. They didn't even need to like use an Edge of Autumn or anything. I'm just dead to this 3 black. Oh, okay. So they played around like some land destruction here. I mean, I guess like show me your Thassa's Oracle and just like you didn't forget to put that in a pile, but I'm dead here. And there it is. GG's. Again, I basically have no ability to sideboard. I can play some defense grids. I can play another Trinisphere. I have 3 cards that I can bring in. I don't really have cards to board out. Is maybe why I don't have cards to board in. Yeah, maybe I don't get... Maybe... I could, like, go down on Blood Suns. They're medium. Like, taking my opponent off of fetch lands is cool and all, but my opponent just, like, finds 1 black source, casts a Dark Ritual, and then I'm donezo. Let's just sub 1 Blood Sun for 1 Trinisphere. I don't know. I could do the defense grids, too. No, I'm going to play the defense grids on the draw, but not on the play. I'm optimistic that I'll win a game here. Yes, this is fine. I will keep this. I care more... If my opponent has a Force of Will for one of these effects, I care about my Trinisphere more. So I'm just going to play Chalice of the Void first here. It has resolved. At which point, you know I gotta just do this, right? Just absolute try and do everything that I can to cripple my opponent's start. I think this is better than holding that mana for acceleration. Like, we can play some Drago for a while. I am going to wait and play this Chalice on a different number. I would like to play this Chalice on... Well, I guess alright, I'm gonna just chill. And I'm gonna play my next Chalice on 2, and then I'll play one on 3, and then I'll win with some big, stupid, expensive thing later. Or my opponent will just beat a Doomsday pile that beats both Chalice and Trinisphere. Black, 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 yeah. Alright, cool, cool, cool. Alright, my opponent has built their pile. I'm going to put this Chalice on 2 for Thassa's Oracle. X is currently 2. Done. Alright, so let's see if your pile beats that. Your pile does not beat that. Fantastic. Alright, so... how am I feeling about the Blood Sun versus Defense Grid? It also could be that, like, some of my more expensive things are straight up just not relevant. And all that matters is the lock pieces. Kind of the classic, like, if you lock your opponent out of the game, it doesn't matter what you kill them with sort of situation. So it could be that I just go down on some actual threats or enablers here to help actually make it through those first few turns a little bit better. Let's do that and also play the Blood Sun. Yeah. Because let's be real, I'm not looking to combo off. I am looking to play hate pieces. Is this hand good enough? This is a turn 1 Chalice of the Void. It has nothing else going on. I can find another Chalice hand that is potentially better. I'm gonna fish a little bit. This is a turn 1 and a turn 2 Chalice. This is better than the last hand. Absolutely. Alright. Let's see if I get Thought Seized or anything here. Underground Sea and do Ponder. Yep, that's fine. No shuffle with the Ponder. Okay. Alright. Let's go land, Chalice on 1. Then next turn I have Chalice on 2 or Chalice on 1 again. Okay. I mean, it got a Force of Negation. That's fine. Opponent is taking a relatively long pause here relative to the speed of other game actions that they've taken. So, what does that mean? Does that mean they have the Doomsday now and they're thinking about whether or not they're ready to cast it yet? Does that mean there's a risky brainstorm situation? Unsure. Okay, we're going. It is Personal Tutor for Doomsday. My Chalice is now a little bit awkward because my opponent will get to build around whatever it is that I do. Ooh. So this could be crack LED for triple black and just play Doomsday immediately. Yeah, that is what it is. So my opponent is Hellbent, so they cannot win this turn. So if I were my opponent, what sort of Doomsday pile would I be making? Probably a Consider LED pile that wins next turn. Wait, can they do that? They draw Consider, they mill Deep Analysis, they draw Lion's Eye Diamond, they play Lion's Eye Diamond, they cast Deep Analysis. Lotus Petal is one of the cards in there, Thassa's Orb, yeah, okay. So, I think if I Chalice of the Void on 2, it beats my opponent. I don't expect that they are going to have room to both beat a Chalice and do all of the other things that they need to be doing. There's the Lion's Eye Diamond. There's the Consider. Okay, there's the Deep Analysis, so I'm wrong. So they could build a slower pile that beats a Chalice. They also could build a, whatchamacallit, Cavernous Souls pile if they're playing Cavernous Souls. Grizzlebrand. Not what I'm looking for immediately, but it's real damn close. There's a world where I'm supposed to just play the Spirit Guide, attack for 2, so that I can 3 the Breach for lethal later, but I don't know that that's better than just doing this. I'm going to go ahead and do this for the 2. And we'll see if my opponent has a Cavern. Fuck. So they have, like, Cavern this turn, and then they like draw street wraiths and stuff next turn. Damn it. Yeah, so that's going to beat me. So they can just like do a couple street wraiths. Oh, okay. They're straight up just going to make land drops until I die. I can't play that defense grid. It will get countered. Yeah, okay. So now my opponent double cycles and plays Thassa's Oracle. Yeah, I mean, I did what I could here. Doomsday too strong. GG's. Okay, my opening hand here has 5 mana sources, a turn 2 Turnosphere, no creature to go with it through the breach. I think this one just has to go back. The second hand has all mana and creatures. Once more, we're going deep. How about this one? Not great. This is on 5. On 5, I've just probably like jam this Blood Sun and hope that it like somehow wins me the game. How fast am I jamming this Blood Sun? Am I doing it turn 1? Opponent's on 6 cards. I think I do the Blood Sun on turn 1 and keep my other mana source and get rid of the Emrakul. I think I just need a little bit of mana in order to do anything this game. Okay. That's not good. That means my Blood Sun is shit, and this hand is not going to be good. I now know that the Blood Sun is bad. I'm just going to play a mountain and pass the turn accordingly. Like we're going to be playing against some sort of painter deck. Blood Sun is not going to have any like super positive effect on the gameplay for me. Yeah, it might even have some negative. Oh, what the hell is this? Okay. ETBs create a Thopter and sacrifice an artifact to exile a top card of the library and play it, or buff a creature. Okay. Yeah, I mean, that is what it is. It's also a 2/3. It's just bigger than my spirit guides. Cool. Land pass. Don't play the Blood Suns. I think land pass. Don't play the Blood Suns. See if my opponent loses their City of Traders in this turn cycle. This deck feels exceptionally bad versus opposing Ancient Tomb decks. This is rough. Also, my opponent's name is Jay on the play, and they won the die roll. Coincidence? I think not. Super interesting that they did not attack with this. Yeah, okay. So I assume this is going to give me the confirmation that I'm dealing with Painter here. It could just straight up be mono red artifact value town, but okay, it is Painter. Opponent's also not getting rid of the City of Traders. All right. At this point, I am straight up afraid of dying. I think I have to just do this and try to dig a little bit deeper into the deck. I need both a creature and an enabler at this point, though. I mean, there's the enabler. If I top deck a creature, I can do stuff next turn. There are plenty of worlds where I just die this turn, though. Like, this is 1 mana to put Painter in play, 1 mana to put Grindstone in play, plus a land. God damn it. Plus a land drop just, like, activates that as well. Okay, yeah. I mean, there's also just, like, a relatively insane number of creatures in play already. Like, my opponent can just kill me with aggro. Like, absolutely. Alright. In good news, I have a sneak attack. In bad news, I just have spirit guides to go with it. In worse news, my opponent has 2, 4, 6, 7 damage showing. And some ability to wiggle that damage around via Breo's Apprentice. Alright, looks like I'm going to take 6 here. My opponent is going to put the Painter into play, which means blasts could be on. Okay, looks like the Painter is coming back at my end step. Is my sneak attack going to get blasted as well? Yep, it is. Sure. That's cruel. Honestly, it's just cruel. I will play the Blood Sun for a redraw. Get a new City of Traders. Yes, I will cast this 2/2. I think I'm effectively dead here. I think I'm going to take enough damage this turn that I can just die in the air next turn to that Thopter. Or, well, one of the Thopters is gone now. That was the sacrificed artifact for the Goblin Engineer. Alright, Block you. Is it any creature? It is, but that doesn't really matter here. 2, 4, 5, 6 damage. I'm going to be dead next turn, pretty much no matter what. So I'll just take a creature out of the way. And the lightning bolt, sure. Okay. Alright, we aren't getting there. Yeah, we're so bad against opposing Ancient Tomb decks. Like, this is rough. I need Sorcerer's Spyglass. I will probably play these removal spells. They get rid of the goblins. I'll use Trinispheres for those. And then I think I have to keep my chalices. I am, like, really not a fan of playing Blood Sun either. If I bring in more cards, it's like, yeah. I don't think I'm going to do that. I think I need to keep Karn targets. I also, like, don't really have removal spells to get to protect a Karn that I play, and like try to use Karn to control the game. Like, Karn can do a lot of damage versus all of my opponent's activated artifact abilities, but I can't really protect it. Like, I have Spirit Guides. Yeah. No bueno. No bueno. Okay, what am I looking at? It's a keep. I probably end up playing a turn 2 sneak attack some portion of the time. There's also turn 2 Karn as an option. Opponent's mulliganing to 6 here. And they've kept on 6. I think I'm just going to go ahead and go Ancient Tomb, Lotus Petal, and pass the turn. Playing the Ancient Tomb here means it's harder for me to use Dead Gone, but I have more flexibility for what I can do with my mana next turn. Alright, opponent's got an Ancient Tomb and a Painter. That's fine. I think I just let that happen and go to my own turn. Alright. So I go land into Karn. I minus Karn. Yes. And I'm going to use it to pick up this very large creature. Now, next turn, I can use Karn to grab Great Furnace and then play Sneak Attack. And if I get a Petal or a Spirit Guide, I'm good from there. Alright, Urza Saga is a little scary. That just represents Grindstone in a way that I can't really answer it. And I don't know that this Karn is going to stay around. Okay, that's... Man, like... So now if I take this Karn out of play, my opponent can activate Grindstone and kill me. So I can't use it to get a land. Yeah, that's just super bad for me. I'll play a Chalice on 1. That doesn't really do anything because my opponent has a Grindstone and the ability to get another Grindstone. And then I'll just plus this for mana. I can try to wiggle for some position at some point and gone a Painter's Servant out of play. But, like, there's also just 2 artifact construct tokens coming. I can't beat what's going on here. Like, the way I win is my opponent going below 12 life and me getting to one-shot them. But that's not really set up to happen right now. And, like, once this Urza Saga construct token comes in and my opponent can start attacking more, I don't know how I get out of this. I mean, ripping a soul land is pretty damn good. Alright. So this is going to cost me 4 life. But it's not bad. If I do this, this hits my opponent to 6. Now I'll just plus my Karn. Because, again, I die as soon as this Karn leaves play. But I sacrifice this thing, which gives me that token. It's a 6/12 token. And my opponent can't do enough with Painter Servant attacking to kill me. And I do kind of stabilize the board a little bit. This construct token also does have trample. Okay, yeah, opponent opted not to activate Urza's Saga for a token there because their life total is so low. Oh, okay. I mean, I kind of thought I was going to get, like, Pithing Needled there, so this is way better than where I thought this was going. That's good. Alright. Okay. That's bad. So this just destroys a colorless permanent? Yeah. Colorless non-land permanent. So my opponent... I'm literally dead right now, right? Just blow up card and activate Grindstone. Not crazy, right? What? Okay, hold on. Destroy target colorless non-land permanent. Blow up Karn. That costs 1 mana to do. My opponent is at 6 life. They can tap both Ancient Tombs and then activate Grindstone. In the comments, if I am missing something here, please let me know. Because it seems like I was just 100% deterministically dead on board. Oh, no, 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 no. Okay, I figured it out. Painter's Servant turned everything blue, so Goblin Crater Maker can't destroy these because these are blue permanents. Okay, that's actually hilarious. All right, figured it out. Read the cards, did not read the rest of the board. I mean, let's run it back. I think I was incredibly lucky to win that game. This has a respectable hate piece in Sorcerer Spyglass as well as a Chalice of the Void, but I don't think this is a hand that wins the game. I'm going to mulligan and try to just get my opponent dead. This does not get my opponent dead. This gets my opponent dead. I will keep this. The Blood Sun goes back, and this is a 5-card hand. I would rather have Worldspine Worm than Grizzlebrand. This is just turn 2, attack for 15, turn 3, attack for 15. Yeah, that's dece. That's dece. Now, my opponent could just Goldfish faster than this, but this is about the best I could do in terms of just, like, killing my opponent. All right, sure. All right. A lot of permanents. I'll just play an Ancient Tomb and pass. My opponent also could just, like, drop an Ensnaring Bridge. Like, that's something that exists in these Painter decks. All right. Son of a bitch. All right, they just had Painter Grindstone. They have 3 mana to activate. I have to, like, top deck a Karn here. I did not top deck a Karn. I am going to cast a Through the Breach because I would like my opponent to win the game at a lower life total. That makes the scoreboard look closer, you know? My turn 3 on the draw kill was not as good as my opponent's turn 3 on the play kill. Get him. Down to 5. I will make my friends. They are not only green, they are also blue. Yeah, shuffle away, friend. I have made my green-blue worms. Oh, wait, hold on. I'm an Emrakul deck, aren't I? They're like, Painter doesn't actually beat me. Die to beat down. Forgot about that. Opponent did not forget about that. That's why they grabbed Soul Guide Lantern, specifically. They were thinking about that before I was. Alright, yeah, so there's the Grindstone. There's all the, like, Worldspine Worms and Emrakuls and such. That was a weird set of dancing triggers. Now my opponent just exiles all my shit. And I am sad. Urza's Saga is a hell of a fucking drug. Alright, yeah, you can play a couple more cards. I'm just gonna look at my beloved worms for a little while longer. We are 0-3 here. This league is not going well. Okay, round 4, I have 3 mana available on turn 1. I have a sneak attack. I have an Emrakul. I'm going to miss land drops if I keep this hand. Is this hand good? Like, do I just keep the hand that can play Chalice on 1, hope Chalice on 1 is good, and then hope that I can reasonably draw into lands? This hand doesn't feel good, but I've just, like, mulliganed into Oblivion every round and lost. So I'm going to keep this hand and kind of, like, go against my gut and see if I'm just wrong. Alright. Land. Chalice on 1. It has resolved. Opponent, Ancient Tomb. Fuck you, Phil. Man, like, I'm out here just trying to be an honest sneak attack player, and I am just getting paired against other Ancient Tomb decks, which I have an absolutely horrendous matchup against. This is brutal. Like, I am probably going to 0-4 drop this league. Like, opponent has Bauble Emery as of turn 1 if they want it, which they probably do. Okay. What are you doing with this extra mana? Oh, just starting out with Thoughtcasts. Sure. Would it be too much to ask for there to just be an Ancient Tomb on top of my deck? It would. It absolutely would. I am unsure how quickly I should concede this game, because if my opponent draws an Ancient Tomb and deals 5 points of damage to themselves, now this Emrakul is, like, not even gonna get through, and the Annihilator is not gonna be super relevant versus, like, Bobble Emery. I probably have 2 turns to get to Sneak Attack mana, or I'm dead. In good news, I have a Milkshake, so, like, I got that going for me. Alright, there's more. Okay, my opponent has 1, 2, 3, 4, or no, that's still 3. So 1, 2, 3, 4 artifacts right now. But we're not quite to Thought Monitors are free yet, but we're getting close. Or not free, 1 mana, rather. And good news, at least Chalice on 0 is good in this matchup. Good thing my Chalice is on 0. My opponent is casting a Pithing Needle purely to get a Thopter. I respect it. I mean, it's absolutely worth it in their position, I think. Alright. Still don't have enough mana to do my thing. Again, very much just banking on opponent going to below 15 and giving me a situation where I can Emrakul and just get them in one go. Otherwise, I can't really win. The Thopters are coming. The Thought Monitors are coming. There's Urza Saga stuff in the distance looming probably as well. Like, I know it's in my opponent's deck. I can see one in their graveyard. Alright, you know what? Like, Caracas too. Fuck me. Alright. I have things that I can board in. Again, the things that I can board in aren't great. Like, my Blood Suns suck. Yeah. And I can't really defend Karn against all the bodies that my opponent has, so that's not a real way to win. I'm gonna try to just fill some slots here. I think I will just play another Trinisphere. I don't know. And a defense grid. 1 dead gone. Question mark, question mark, question mark, question mark. I don't have enough mana here. I don't have a creature here to pair with that sneak attack either. Okay, how much mana do I have? I have Grizzlebrand on turn 1 mana. Keep. Alright, so at least once in this league, I will do the thing. Or my opponent will just have, like, a force effect, and I will just die. That also could occur. Seething Song. Sneak attack. Alright. Alright. This is the league where Phil just, like, 04 drops and does nothing. Like, message received, I get it. I get it. Board out Blood Sun. I think I need to not play a land so that if I top deck like a Trinisphere or something, I can play that and stop my opponent from spamming stuff. Yeah, this is awful. Okay, now I will play that. But my opponent is just going to go construct token, probably Pithing Needle on sneak attack, and I don't come back from it. Like, my opponent will be able to accelerate their artifact count, and if they're not just spamming artifacts, that probably means they have counter spells in hand. Yeah. Like, I'll wait to see if I draw, like, exactly Seething Song, but I'm gonna be dead in, honestly, probably 2 more attack steps, not counting this one. So this is gonna put me to 16, and then I'm already dead in 2 beyond that. I could even just die next turn, depending on how many artifacts my opponent can spam when they untap. Alright, Emery for a Petal. Yeah. Well, in good news, my opponent just clicked through an attack step. Yeah, they said oops. I say, I don't think it matters. I feel dead. I'll play land. I will play Chalice on 0. I think I have to do that to stop Emery BS. My opponent agrees with me. They also think that I am very dead. Alright. There's a Thought Monitor. So that means I'm taking at minimum 12 here. Really at minimum 14, because Emery is also going to activate. I also might just get locked out of even casting anything with the Ancient Tomb, depending on, like, how absurd my opponent can go here. Oh, they're just going to straight up attack with the Emery. That's worse in terms of damage than putting another artifact into play. because another artifact into play is worth 2 damage, and an Emery attack is only worth 1. All right. Been a little while since we've done this, but this is the 04 drop special. Overall thoughts on the deck list. I think it's quite bad. I think that adding Karn to the deck list is adding something that means you're less likely to have your A plus B plan early. So this deck, and I'm going to just move the whole sideboard off the screen here to get some room. This deck needs to assemble Sneak Attack or Boar plus one of these creatures. So like you have about 8 copies of each one. And Karn is trying to hedge and be copies of both. But the thing is that every time Karn is in your opening hand with like a Sneak Attack or Through the Breach or a Boar, you're not actually doing your thing, right? And if Karn is in the Boar, like, and if Karn is paired with a creature, in order for you to like use Karn to do that, you have to go like 4 mana for Karn, 4 mana for creature, another mana to activate. So like I understand that Karn is supposed to be this thing that kind of hedges in both directions and is able to do either, but I don't know that it's good on its own. Karn being able to wish for Quicksilver Amulet? Just confirm. Quicksilver Amulet and then a large creature afterwards is kind of cool, but in reality, I have nothing to protect this Karn. Like there's nothing like Ensnaring Bridge or a bunch of removal to protect the Karn. So Karn just does not live long enough most of the time to get both pieces on its own. So while I think this was an interesting idea, in practice, I just got thwomped, just absolutely massacred. I hope it was enjoyable for you. This one was rough for me. Anyway, if you made it to this far in the video, throw me a like or a comment. I need some sympathy because we did not put up the W's today. Have a great rest of the day, folks. I'm gonna hang out with this milkshake for a little while. See ya.